Hi and Happy New Year, everyone. It's Marianne, the Artsy Crafter. Wow, can you believe it's the beginning of 2023 already? Incredible, isn't it? Anyway, today I've got a new project I want to share with you to start off the new year. But before I do that, I just want to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about a subject that I think it's important as it affects a lot of people at this time of year, including myself, I have to admit. As you probably guessed from the title of today's video, it's about New Year's depression, or as some call it, the New Year blues. While some people look forward to New Year's celebrations, going to New Year's Eve parties, making new resolutions and all that kind of thing, there's others who dread it for a lot of different reasons. I have to be honest, I'm not totally confident talking about depression and anxiety. I mean, they're deeply personal and complex topics, as you can imagine. I'm not a therapist or an expert on the subject by any means, but I can't give advice, but I do have experience with this condition from time to time over the years, and I feel it's important to talk about it, and a relevant topic considering it is the new year. I'm not going to go and go into any specifics about the topic. I mean, I'm sure most of us know what it's about. I just wanted to share how it's affected me just in a little bit, and the couple of things that have helped me to overcome it. I'm more fortunate than a lot of other people who cope with depression and anxiety this time of year, as it's only affected me to a moderate degree. I like to think that I'm a positive person in general, and I think this has helped me to perhaps cope a little better. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But I do feel it's a serious mental health issue that doesn't get much attention, especially where the media is concerned. I mean, most of the focus you hear is around New Year resolutions and the popular tradition at this time of year, where we're all supposed to we're expected to take stock of our lives, reflect over the past year's achievements, and make goals for the new year. But not everyone feels like doing that, especially if they feel depressed or anxious, for whatever reason. I mean, not everyone wants to reflect back on their year. Perhaps because they feel they haven't achieved anything significant, or perhaps, they've had a bad year and just want to forget all about it. I mean, as the world, we all know that we've all had a couple of really bad years recently, and according to the statistics, there's a significant rise in the number of people coping with depression and anxiety worldwide. And now here we are starting another new year. And the world is still trying to get back to normal, whatever that may be. So it can be hard to set goals or make plans for the new year while people are finding it difficult, to see any hope for this year being any better than the last two. I personally don't make any new year resolutions. I mean, if you believe in the statistics, hard to get my mouth around, the majority of people who do make them end up breaking them before the year's out. So I believe, why set yourself up for failure before the new year even begins? I don't really set goals or make plans for the new year either. That's just the way I operate. But then things changed for me just a few years ago when I finally got fed up with, all the hype around making New Year resolutions and all that stuff. People are always asking, what's your New Year's resolutions? And I say, well, my New Year resolution is to not make a New Year resolution. That's all I could come up with. So I made a conscious decision to finally deal with the issues I have with the new year. It was time. I have feelings of depression about the year ending, which sounds silly, I know. It takes me a long time to get used to a new year, and then it's over by the time I do. I then get anxious about the new year, and then, repeating the cycle of depression all over again. So the one important thing I've come to realize about myself is that I must be a slow learner, because it's taken me all these years to finally work out that one of the reasons why I hate the new year is that I've never really made plans for the year ahead, And I'm a person who likes to be well organized. Yeah, go figure. So not making plans into the new year has obviously left me feeling lost and without direction. And no wonder, you know, I'm always feeling a little anxious around that time of year. So my new year blues, as you know, not a term I like to refer to it, but you know, it will do for now. It usually starts on New Year's Eve, and sometimes it can last, you know, a couple of weeks to a couple of months for it to finally go away. And then, of course, I'm left with feelings of guilt and a bit more depressed, because by the time I start making plans for what I want to do in the new year, you know, a third of it perhaps may have gone. So to ensure I didn't waste the beginning of another new year, I knew I needed to sit down and take the time to make plans for the new year, starting with New Year's Eve. So now my husband and I make the effort to do something fun and special so that we start the new year on a positive note. I mean, we don't have to go parties or go out or anything, but just something special for ourselves, whether it's just ourselves or with family and friends. So that was the start for me in overcoming this condition, by becoming proactive and feeling positive about starting another new year. So as I said before, I don't make New Year's resolutions, but now I do make plans before the new year starts, at least for the first few months of the new year. I make different types of plans, you know, things like social events, projects around the house, and also my craft projects. So having said that, this year I decided that the first craft project I wanted to do was make a journal for myself. This year I plan to do a lot more self-care. Very important. I'm not good at taking care of myself. Taking care of my family has always come first. I can imagine many of you are the same in that respect. But this year, but this is the year where it's going to be about me. I feel so selfish, but anyway, we have to do these things, don't we, to look after ourselves. So that's what I decided to call my New Year junk journal. And my light just went out. You'll have to excuse me, and I'll just plug it into the. You have to go through a million settings to get on the one that I think's the best. Anyway, where were we? So yes, this New Year journal is called All About Me. Because it'll be my personal journal where I can focus on my own well-being. You know, I can share my thoughts, make a record of all the things I've done during the year and all that stuff, you know. It's not a large journal. There are 3 signatures with around 96 pages. You can see them in there. So I don't expect it to cover more than a month or 2 of the year. I haven't sewn in the signatures yet, but I'll give you a quick peek inside. This is the cover, and I just use some broderie anglais as a tie. I wanted to do a grungy junk journal this time, so this is I haven't sewn in the signatures as yet, because I'm not sure whether I want to work on them before I sew them in or after, so I haven't yet decided on that. This is the cover here, which shows up a funny color on the camera, but anyway, so I got some cotton fabric here from picked up from the op shop. It was kind of a coffee color anyway, and I went ahead and I used watercolors, and I just grunged it up with some purple. I love this purple, it's really pretty. And then again, I got this lace doily from the op shop, so I just coffee dyed that. And then this broderie anglais, I just tore off strips, and you can see I stained that with the watercolors, purple watercolors, and then I did do some sprayed a little bit of coffee dye on there. I don't know if you can see that. And then I sewed it onto here, and then I sewed this doily onto the background, and then I glued the panel onto, first of all, this is some broderie anglais as well, but it's more coffee dyed then purple, and then this is a page that I made, and then so this is paper, it's thick paper, and this is paper here that I from some scrapbooking that I scrunched up, and I sanded the ridges, and then I ground it up by putting some purple watercolor over it, and then I put some what do you call that, Nouveau paste here, Nouveau glitter paste on it, which is pretty cool stuff. You see this here, it's like a paste, and you just rub it on. So I rubbed it on the ridges, so it's got a little bit of a sparkle there, and I sewed this on to the broad angle. I glued this onto this panel, and I made this a pocket here. So I don't know what I'm going to put in there. I'm thinking about putting a little booklet perhaps, or painting an image and sticking it in there as a journal card. Haven't decided yet. Anyway, on the inside here, the base of this is paper bags. I glued the cover onto the inside, and then I covered this with some, I had some cardstock there, purple cardstock, so I glued that on the inside here, and so that's the cover. This one's going to have 3 signatures, so I hope I'm hoping that 1 inch spine, or 2.5 centimeters, is going to be big enough. We'll soon see by the time I finish this journal. I do plan to make as many journals as I need to record all the things that happen throughout the year. Then sometime after Christmas, I could look forward to browsing back through the journals to reflect on all the things that I've done during the year. I figure this will give me a better chance, to continue looking forward to the next year and not fall into that cycle of depression. So of course, there is another challenge I always face when I want to start a new journal. It sounds stupid, I know, but I'm hesitant to actually write in the thing. I just don't want to make a mess of it, especially after all the time and effort I put into making it. So while I'm confessing my shortcomings, I have to say I still haven't written in most of the journals I've made for myself. However, I have kept digital journals over the years. I know they're not the same, but I do end up transferring all my entries into my physical journals when I'm in the mood. So far, I've only filled 2 of my personal journals. I have to admit, I am a lot more comfortable writing in my travel journals. I've made a lot of those over the years, but this year I'm determined to write directly into my personal journals. I may still make notes on my computer, but I will strive to keep up to date with filling in my physical journals. I figure it's a win-win deal. I get to write in my journal, and I don't have to feel anxious about making mistakes because I've edited them out on my computer first. The downside, I guess, is that my writing will look a little less organic and more scripted that way, but I'm okay with that. So now I think it's time to finish up for today. I want to thank you for your patience, and I hope I haven't bored you with my little talk. But before I sign off on that subject, I just wanted to ask that if you've experienced the New Year blues or something similar, then I'd love to hear your story, as I'm sure I'm not the only one who's experienced this condition. So please feel free to share your experience and how you've dealt with this condition in the comment section below. Anyway, for now, I just want to let you know that I'll be working in this journal in future videos. So I'd love for you to tune in and hopefully get inspired on how to make journal pages of your own. I'd also appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, as I have lots of fun and exciting projects to share with you in upcoming videos this year. So for now, I'd like you to take good care of yourself, stay safe, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye.